morning. I want to talk about a little bit about car life, etc. Now, yesterday I went out, and I always do a shorter trip before I actually take off on a big thing. And sure enough, I get out there, and I was going to spend a couple of days, and then I found that I left my thyroid medication here. So best laid plans, you think you've got everything there, but that's why I take the shorter things and spend a day out and make sure that I've got everything that I need. And because you don't want to get going out down the road and get, a few 100 miles down the way and find out that you have forgotten something that you really need. So I always advocate, when you're getting set up for car life, especially if you're going to be living in there, make sure that you have everything that you need. You're going to make some adjustments along the way when you're getting your setup. I don't know how many different configurations I went through until I found exactly what's working. I now have my Prius V exactly how I want it. I don't see any other changes that need to be made. Now, the one thing, though, that I am changing is the refrigerator is in the 12 volt. Now, I don't carry external batteries and stuff, like a Jackery or any of that, because the Prius V, I have the starter battery is in the back of the car, and I have connected to that an inverter, a 2,000 watt inverter, because I do all my cooking with electric appliances. Okay, so I'm cooking in the car. I have a grill, I have a pot. I used to carry a rice cooker, but I found out, that I really don't need that. It just takes up a lot of extra space. Okay, so the saucepan that I have and the grill are what I use for all of my cooking. I don't need anything other than that. Okay, so I've figured out what I need to use for cooking. My AeroPress for the coffee is fabulous. It's so easy to use. You get a great cup of coffee, and you don't have the difficulty that you have with other kind of coffee makers with grounds and everything. This one is so easy, the AeroPress. And so all of these things, and then my little Bidene that heats up my water, which is very quick. My grill, which is 600 watt. Okay, so, but the one thing that I did find that I just ordered, and that is an external battery pack for my refrigerator, because I may get out somewhere. Now, I'm usually running the climate control 24/7, but I've gotten to a few places where it's been nice, and I really don't need to have that running. And so if I stop the engine, then my refrigerator's not getting power. So I did order that. That's coming in a couple of days. I'm waiting for that to show up. And I'll show it to you when it comes, but it's the one I ordered is very small. Okay, it's very small. It's like that tall, and it's about, it's like this. It's a very small energy pack. And so I'll let you know how that works. Now, I have the Megu refrigerator, and I love those because it's small enough that you can sit it in your passenger seat. Okay, and so that saves all your room in the back, rather than putting a big refrigerator back there. Now, this one, you can set it cold enough that you can freeze everything, but it's only got one one compartment in it, okay? So that's the thing. It doesn't have a freezer and a refrigerator, but I find out I don't need it anyway. I don't need a freezer, really. I'll buy something that's frozen, and it'll slowly defrost in there, okay? And I use it quickly. But I do buy some things frozen once in a while. You know, if I want like a spaghetti or something, you know, one of those little single things, I'll buy something like that, okay? I don't buy a lot of frozen things, but once in a while I will buy something and I'll keep it in there. Now I just bought the little bit larger size of the Megu, and it's working really well. It's a little taller than the other one that I had. It's not wider, it's just a bit taller. So you could fit a bit taller items and stuff in there. Now another thing I do is eggs. I found that I can coat eggs, and I coat them. I use the grass-fed beef tallow, and I'll just put on the gloves, and I will put a little bit of the oil on your hand and cover the eggs, and then I take a paper towel and wipe off the excess oil that's on it, and I don't have to refrigerate the eggs. You know, I have kept them in the heat of the summer out in the garage, and it's hot in there, and I checked the eggs a couple weeks later, and they were all just perfect. Okay, I did check them in the water to make sure that they, you know, that they weren't floating, they weren't going bad, and they were all still good. So I don't refrigerate eggs anymore. So they've had that controversy that says once they've been washed and they've been, you know, in a cooler that you can't, that you've got to use farm fresh eggs if you're going to do. That's not true. You can go ahead and again cover them with the oil, and that will work just fine. Okay. So I've found that to be true. So the other thing, I have this Stanisport, I think it's called, toilet, which I really love in there. Okay. It works really well. And, you know, I use it, and the next morning I just take the bag and you roll it up and put it in your regular trash as well, and close that up and throw it all away. And so that works really well. I did have a platform built in there. Now it's not going the whole length of the car like a lot of people do, which takes up, because I'm in a Prius B, you don't have a lot of headroom. It's like a station wagon, not like an SUV. You don't have the headroom that you do in an SUV. But it's worked. I just took it from the point where when you take the seats out, you have that empty. So I just did a slight short platform. Now I left enough room that I could put the toilet in, and I could put a little 3-drawer cabinet in as well. And that worked really well. But I had built in that, what I had built in that little platform is on either side of it, you have pull-out drawers, and that's where I keep clothing. So I have one side that's for tops and underwear and all of that, and the other side is for pants, jeans, okay, shorts, jeans, whatever that I'm going to use with that. So I have 2 areas for my clothing, okay, which works well. And then I've got 2 3-drawer cabinets. One of them's got my coffee supplies, my, you know, just things I use for cooking and stuff in one, my tarot cards, and then personal items that you need, your toiletries, etc. is in that one. And then in the back one, I have things like the eggs I have in there, the extra dog treats, and other cooking supplies, extra, extra containers if I've made something and I want to, I have leftovers that I want to keep, okay, for that. Now, I don't understand why people want to put a sink in, okay, because I have the little wash thing that folds up. You put your water in, you do what you need to do, and then you dispose of it. Why do you need a sink? So I don't have a sink, I don't have the running water. I buy a gallon jug of water, and I find out that works just quite fine, okay? I have another little thing that's a little, you put it on the top of a bottle. You keep one of those little bottles, and you can wash your hair with it. It's like a little sprinkler thing. You got your basin, you can do your hair. It's, again, simple. I try to keep things really simple with it. But I'm trying to think what else I've put in there, which I got a big wicker basket, and in that I carry my cooking supplies, my pot, my grill, soy sauce, things like that, a cutting board. All of those things go in. That's my kitchen area. Okay, that's my kitchen area. So yeah, my bed is a three-fold little mattress thing, and I got a topper that I put on it as well, that when I want to cook, I can sit it up in the front seat, out of the way, and then I have that extra space. I like the three-fold rather than a regular heavy-duty mattress, because when you have a mattress, and I did at first, I had one that stretched the length of the thing. Well, I'm short, so I can go, across ways like this, because I like to sleep curled up. So why use all that extra area that you don't need to have that in? Okay, so I made it much more a way to make it much more productive for me, that I can move things. Like I said, if I want to cook, I just take the bed mattress things that are in the three-fold thing, and I can sit them up in the front seat, and then I've got all that open space. Okay, I do all my cooking inside the vehicle. Like I said, I have a little 600-watt grill and a little saucepan, and they work great. I don't find that I need anything else. And I really wanted to do my cooking in the car, because I see people out there and they make the things that they pull out in the back of their car, but you're out there in the snow, the rain, the dust, the dirt, having to cook. I said, well, no. I'm not going to be standing out there in the rain, the sleet, the snow, the dust storms, and have to cook. So I set it up and found items, low wattage items that I can use in the car, and I can cook there, and I've had no problem with it. So that works. My window coverings, I had the WeatherTech. They're more expensive, but they exactly fit your car. And those have been wonderful. Like I said, except for the front window. That one I don't care so much for. And I did order another one. It should be here today or tomorrow. And so when that comes, I'll show that to you. But it's much thicker. It's a thicker one. I bought one of those for my little Scion IQ, and I love it. But it comes in a carry bag, and it's thicker, and it's much easier to use. You're not rolling it up. So as soon as that comes, I'll show you to you, and then also the little power pack that I'm getting for the refrigerator. If I get to a place and I want to, just have the doors open and stuff, and I do have another thing that I can open the back, and I put that little tent thing over and it hooks on the car. Now it's not a tent that pulls out away from the car, it just keeps the bugs out. So I have that if I get to a nice place, and I do have the mesh, also window covers if I want to open the side windows and stuff as well. So I do have those, and that works, again, really well. But if I stop the engine, then there's no more power going to the refrigerator, so I am buying a little external power pack for that time. Now this one is supposed to, like I said, be very small. I think it's 9 inches in length, 6 inches wide, and 2 inches high. So it's very small compared to most of them, that I can just sit on the console there and power the refrigerator when I don't want to be running the engine. So I think that's about it. Now with having that refrigerator up front, I have that room, by the dash to your seat where I store a lot of extra items, toilet paper, extra toilet paper, or extra clothing. Some things I put up there, that's extra storage area that I use. And it works out really well. So that's how I have to set up. Now I have had a regular van before, and I've had a Road Trek. They're fabulous. They have tons of storage area in the Road Trek. And then I had another regular little van that I had set up quite well. I had it set up more like a Japanese style, like tatami mat type thing. I did have a toilet in there, and I made a platform, and in it I had a, the down covers. Yeah, I had down blankets and down covers, so it was quite fine, quite warm. And I'm trying to think what I used for cooking in that. I think in that one I did carry the one where you have the little butane thing. So if you're ever interested in seeing that one, I think I may still have a video somewhere with the setup that I had for that. It was cute. I had it set it up very Japanese style, and it was nice. It was nice. I had it set up quite well. And there was no built-in, well, except for the platform that I built to make my bed, and then had, some storage area under it. That was a regular van. Now, I didn't do any extra insulation in the van or anything like that. It was very minimal. Very, very minimal. But I did go out in the snow and everything, and did quite fine with it. So anyway, that's a little bit about the vehicles I've had and things that I have in it, and how I set it up the way I did, why I set it up the way I did. And I've been doing this for a number of years, so you learn as you go. You change things as you go. But each person is unique in what they need and what they're going to take with them, etc. I had to think about taking ostomy supplies and all this other stuff as well. So yeah, when I went in and got the ostomy, it was a good 6 months before I could really go and do anything, okay? Because I had full open surgery. It wasn't laparoscopic and it wasn't healing well, and so that's another thing, but it really put my plans on hold for some time until I got healed up and could actually go out and figure out supplies that worked for me. But I did learn how to do it, and I do go out now, and it's quite fine, okay? Ostomy or not, I'm still going out, okay? So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.